Well, hello and welcome back to Box Office Chat, where we break down and discuss the top 10 films within the United Kingdom's box office. Stephen, this is for the weekend, January 18th to 20th, 2019. What have we got at number one this week, Stephen? It's not a surprise, certainly not to me anyway.
No, it certainly isn't, John. It's Glass, and its first week grossing 3.3 million over the weekend.
3.3 million.
I've not seen this film yet. You have, John.
I have, yeah.
You even told me the ending. But I did ask you to be fair.
Yeah, I warned you.
I didn't mind the ending. I know it annoyed you, but...
there was one aspect of it that annoyed me, Stephen. One aspect. Shall I get into that? Or shall I leave it?
We'll keep it spoiler-free.
We'll keep it spoiler-free. Well, I'll start off by going through the rest of the film, Stephen, which I actually did enjoy. I thought M. Night Shyamalan, as you know I'm a big fan of, nailed it for the most part. I thought the opening 15-20 minutes in particular were outstanding. Obviously we had that hint at the end of Split that there was going to be a confrontation between David Dunn and Kevin Wendell Crumb. I believe his middle name is Wendell, I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Crumb anyway, I'm pretty damn sure of that. But it was hinted that those two would be confronting each other and they were going to have a bit of a moment.
Face off, yes.
And they do. At the beginning of this film they have a face off and it is tremendous. Kevin's been at it again, he's been stealing 3 young girls away, cheerleaders. And David goes in and saves the day. His son, incidentally, in this film, really enjoyed that dynamic between Bruce Willis and the boy that played his son. Can't quite recall his name at the moment, but he was very, very good and I enjoyed him. I'll try and find it in a minute. Stephen, Joseph Dunn, Spencer Treat Clark.
I was going to say that, John. I knew there was, there was going to be a part for the son in this, and I think a few weeks ago I did say comparing other films when they introduce a son into.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I say it never works. In this case, it did.
It did work. It worked very well. I thought he was fantastic. The good dynamic, back and forth. Good
so
banter.
Nothing like Die Hard 5 then? No.
I've not seen any Die Hard film, as you do know, Stephen. Absolutely scandalous. I've never even seen the original Die Hard, so I can't tell you whether it's a Christmas movie or not. But I have seen Alan Rickman's parts in it, so that's enough for me, Hans Gruber. But Stephen, thoroughly enjoyed this film for the overwhelming majority of the running time. Obviously, Samuel L's playing Elijah Price again. He's a mute for about 3/4 of the film. He's playing like a comatose, like vegetable figure.
Yeah.
I hope I'm allowed to say
Samuel Jackson being very quiet.
Yeah, very quiet. He's playing the long game. But as I did say to you, Stephen, I wasn't too perplexed by that at all, or perturbed by that, I should say, because you know he's a cerebral sort of a villain.
Yeah.
He's got a plan in place. He's surveying the scene, watching what's going on. That's precisely what he does. Obviously, Kevin comes in with David Dunn to this mental institution, spearheaded by Dr. Ellie Staples. She's trying to convince the 3 of them that they're not superheroes after all. It's all in their head. It's all a series of conditions that they've each got. And that's just the premise of the vast majority of the film. They're all in this institution. Focuses more on Kevin and also the characters of Patricia, Dennis, Hedwig, just a whole host of mental split personalities he's got. He's the real standout, Stephen. James McAvoy, it's just sublime. It shows you his range. There's one moment in particular where this caretaker's coming in, or charge hand's coming in, and he's flashing the lights and he just keeps changing again and again and again, and it's sublime performance from James McAvoy. As I did say, Samuel L plays a long game, but as the film concludes you start to see it all unravel. It's almost like an episode of Hustle, that TV show from back in the day in the BBC, but it goes back and shows you exactly what the hell he's been doing. Obviously it's CCTV and footage and stuff, and he's got a long plan. The one loser in this is Bruce Willis, David Dunn. I didn't think he had anywhere near enough screen time. Completely underused. Felt almost like they ignored Unbreakable and went straight from a Split into this. It was kind of like the antithesis to the Dark Knight trilogy, Stephen, where they completely ignored the Dark Knight and bridged Batman Begins and the Dark Knight Rises together. They totally ignored Unbreakable and just went from Split. And then, as I did say, there's an ending with the David Dunn character which infuriated me. I wasn't happy with it at all.
But Jesus, you never know with this director. Anything's possible, John.
It's possible.
You know, a lot of people are already saying this is the concluding part of the trilogy. Others are saying the story can continue on.
I don't recall him ever saying it was a trilogy. I think I've seen it more recently. He was talking about trilogies, but you can always retcon that, Stephen. But they've left it opened for...
the argument with David Dunn, though, is that if you want to see more of David Dunn, go back and watch Unbreakable.
That's it.
A lot of people say that with Darth Vader. They want a Darth Vader movie. You've got 3 of those.
And he's really is good in Unbreakable. He's outstanding. And listen, it was more like Unbreakable in terms of actual pacing as well. Very slow burn film. There's a couple of high action moments, big bombastic action moments. The end finale in the fight and then at the beginning the confrontation between David and Kevin. For the most part though, very character driven, slow paced film. Didn't like the whole Clover secret organisation thing where they're trying to convince superheroes or not superheroes to keep it all under wraps. Wasn't happy with that. Not really a spoiler, I hope, but I'm not getting into
Was that perhaps maybe, you know, the role of that Doctor, was that perhaps to maybe try and convince the audience as well?
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it never really convinced me, Stephen, because obviously at the end of Unbreakable, you see David Dunn touching people, you see the flashbacks, of the insight he has into people and they can read them right away. She tries to convince him it's perhaps just he's amazing at reading people in situations and he can make quick decisions on people and get a good read of what their personality is and stuff like that. But I was never truly convinced. I know these people are superheroes. I know I've seen the Beast going about climbing walls and taking bullets. So never truly worked for me. But I can understand what he was trying to do. But at the end, I think he tried to get too clever, Shyamalan, and it never worked for me. But look, 77% of people enjoyed this in the audience. 36% of the critics. It's obviously a Marmite film, Stephen. I do believe it was Philip. We were discussing this film in the chat on the Facebook. Philip says it's very much a Marmite film. So some people are getting a great deal of enjoyment out of it. I can't even check the worldwide box office just now because I'm in the completely wrong page, Stephen. But I'd be very surprised if this film isn't doing pretty good. There you go, $162.6 million worldwide off of a $20 million budget. It's made a profit. And I'm glad it has because I really did enjoy the film for the most part. We knew it was
going to be a box office success, John. I will be one of those audience members this week because I am desperate to see it. Regardless of what you've told me about the ending, that doesn't really bother me.
Well, you still get the other 3/4 of the film, which is actually the best part of the film anyway, Stephen.
So we'll see where it takes us. But where we're going next is number 2 in the box office. It's Mary Queen of Scots in its first week. It's grossed 2.1 million over the weekend, which is quite impressive for a biographical, is it? Is that the right one?
Biographical historical
drama.
Yes.
So this is starring obviously Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie and a whole host of stars who seem to be quite low down in the bill. And we checked out the credits on IMDb and a whole host of stars and big name.
And it's got like a scrubber woman at top billing who I've never heard of in my life.
But we've not seen the film yet, John, so we'll have to just hold back on that. Maybe she's
she's playing a prominent role. She's scrubbing Queen Mary's foot or something like that. I don't know. So after seeing The Favourite, anything is possible with these queens and their demands, you know. But we'll get into that film.
It's interesting, John, that you did tell me. I think I might have read this a few months ago in regards to both actors, Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie, not meeting each other till one.
There was one scene,
pivotal scene,
and they were kept apart the entire time. I think this was deliberate. I think they were trying to get into the characters and the mindsets of the characters. Also, they were warring sort of a. I don't think they were related in any way. I'm pretty sure they weren't related. Maybe they were. I don't know my historical stuff in this particular period or this particular story that well, but certainly they were warring over the right to the British throne, Stephen. Queen Elizabeth was holding obviously the throne in England. Queen Mary was had the throne in Scotland. I think she went off to France at a young age and was really tutored and brought up there, and then she came back to Scotland, and there was a lot of bickering and infighting between all of the lords in Scotland, most notably John Knox, played by David Tennant. A guy I don't even like his statue in Glasgow. I think it's Townhead.
Well, I think the relationship, John, between...
Are they sisters?
No. I think they regard themselves as sisters, but I don't think they are actually blood relatives.
Well, I digress. I was going off on a tangent there, Stephen. They're kept apart. They kept themselves apart, obviously, so they could get the emotion of the scene when they finally meet, because it's quite important. The whole dynamic of these two's relationships, what powers the film. It's called Mary Queen of Scots, but it's about Mary coming in, and obviously this dynamic between her and Elizabeth. It's always that concern at the back of Elizabeth's mind that she's going to usurp her and come in and try and claim the throne for their own. Paranoia is rampant. Also, Mary's a Catholic. She's trying to... Well, there's always that concern around about that period that the Catholics would come in and try and lead a crusade and take over. So it's obviously about these male figures warping the minds of these two prominent female figures, causing bad blood. She gets accused of treason. I believe she was treasonous. I think she was actually trying to plot to kill Elizabeth. Only after she was under house arrest for a number of years, I might add. But she ends up dying. It's a botched execution. Spoiler alert. I think the executioner swiped at her head with an axe 3 times before they actually managed to cleave her head off. So there you go. There's a bit of historical
Sounds grim.
Yeah. $29.9 million worldwide, Stephen.
Saoirse Ronan, John, over the last few years, she's been outstanding. Lady Bird was a movie from last year. I thought she was amazing in that.
She was,
It's hard to believe that that's that little girl from Atonement. She was very prominent in that film as well from an early age. You could see that she was going places. Margot Robbie, can't wait to see her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. The new Tarantino film.
Sharon Tate.
Which we will be talking about tomorrow on the
Absolutely, cannot wait.
News. Some new images have appeared. She looks the ringer for Sharon Tate.
She does, yeah.
In this movie, from what we've seen from the trailers,
she looks a ringer for Elizabeth in this as well.
She does hauntingly look like her. But listen, I'm looking forward to seeing this film. I know it's I think it's in 20 theatres throughout the city at the moment. I don't know. I've got a few films I need to see to catch up on the box office. It's not really high up my list, but its subject matter, obviously being Scottish, interests me. See how it plays out. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, I think it's Josie Rourke is the director. This is her first directorial debut, and what a way to start it with a heavy drama-based historical storyline,
exactly,
and historical figures in the United Kingdom.
And I just can't wait to see David Tennant again, because he's one of my favourite actors, also a good Scot himself, and he's playing John Knox, even though I don't like the character of John Knox. Looking forward to seeing him. Martin Constance in there as well, another Glaswegian. So there's a whole host of interesting actors and politics and stuff going on in this film, so I'll be sure to give it a bash at some point, whether it be in the house watching it on TV or something, or in the theatre. We'll see. I have got a few to watch myself. Stan and Ollie's in at number 3, John. In its second week now, it's grossed 1.8 million over the weekend, 6.1 overall. Another movie that you have seen. I have, I got tied up last week. I would have came along with you. Certainly it's a film I'm desperate to see. We've talked about this. It's mad that we've been talking about this for months and I still haven't seen it, but it's out there, it's out in the cinemas. It has been for the last few weeks now. As well as being big Laurel and Hardy fans, we're big John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan fans as well. Absolutely,
so it's a match made in heaven for both of us as fans of the actors and the characters that they are playing. I can't wait to see it, but I'll let you in, John, with your experience of the movie, because you've made me want to see it more.
Well, I have to say, Stephen, it hasn't surprised me in the least what I got in this film, Stephen. It was exactly what I was anticipating getting in to watch it. We have been talking about it for a number of months now. I had a fair idea what I was going to get. This story, a different telling of these two comedic geniuses, obviously. The more, how shall I put it, they're down in the luck. It's 1950s, it's not the heyday in the 1930s where they're producing all of these films. The story is essentially them coming to the United Kingdom for a tour. It's kind of a lacklustre reception they're getting from audiences. It's not full theatres and stuff like that. They're down in the luck. They're trying to fund this new comeback film. That's the general premise of the film. But of course it goes deeper than that, Stephen. It's looking into these two wonderful characters, obviously Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. The dynamic between those two, their relationships. Oliver Hardy surprised me in this film, Stephen. I haven't been a big fan of these two guys. I didn't realise he was such almost a more laid back and kind of a softer guy, to Stan Laurel's more serious, and he was the guy that was really powering them and trying to get them. Obviously, he was more acutely aware of the financial sides and stuff like that, fighting against studios, wanting to get the money they obviously deserve for producing films. So
as well, John,
that was great seeing that.
Stan Laurel, coming from the United Kingdom as well, the pressure would have been, I felt, more on him as well to perform and succeed in his own country. Not to say that Oliver Hardy wouldn't have felt that pressure as well. Certainly he does through his health. I have picked that up from the trailers, the international trailers that all came out prior to its release. But I mean, the other thing that you told me about was the actual real life people. Their characteristics are almost flipped.
It's like yin to yang. It's almost,
that intrigues me as well, because I never knew that about them either. I always thought that Stan Laurel was a clown and Oliver Hardy was the more serious, uptight one, but I
wouldn't say Oliver was also a clown in real life, but he was a more softer, gentler, laid-back guy, more optimistic guy, whereas Stan was more a realist. But I just loved the dynamic between the two. I thought Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly were absolutely sublime, Stephen. Obviously, you've got Jeff Pope, I believe it was, that wrote the film. He was involved in Philomena. I'm pretty sure it was Jeff Pope.
It was,
he was involved. He was a writer for Philomena, which obviously starred Steve Coogan. This is a guy that gets Steve Coogan. He knows how to write a fantastic film, and he's done it here again. I just thought they got the balance right. And there was a great moment at the beginning of the film, Stephen, where John S. Baird obviously utilises a flashback, shows you
Another good Scot, John.
Another good Scot, shows you obviously the on-screen persona of these guys, but they're bickering behind the scenes, arguing with, I believe it was Hal Roach, about obviously the pay and the cuts and they're getting from the studio. And then as soon as the cameras go on, they're right into the characters, and that's something that really transcends all the way through the film, Stephen. You're seeing this personal strife between them, but they love each other as well. They're also very close, but you see the differences, just the hard time they're going through at this point in their life. But as soon as the cameras are there, it becomes time to perform, regardless of how many people are in the crowd, they go right into it. And I thought the two of them nailed the theatrical side of the characters, and I thought they nailed the performance side of the characters. It was a fantastic film for me. I really enjoyed it. It's getting great reviews across the board. I completely agree with those reviews. I thought it was outstanding. If I was to review it, Stephen, obviously I give it out of 5. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 because I really did enjoy it. One of my favourite biopics in the last few years. I can't get a worldwide box office total because I believe it is only out in the United Kingdom at the moment, so $2.2 million. I don't think that's right because you told me it would gross
6.1 million overall.
6.1 million, so that's completely wrong. Maybe it is out in limited territories
I think so.
worldwide as well then, so that's sitting around about, I don't know, £7 million gross total. So
not bad.
There.
Number 4 this week is Mary Poppins Returns in its 5th week, John, grossing another 1.7 million over the weekend. Overall, £40.3 million. 1.7 million over the weekend for a film in its 5th week is not bad figures, is it?
It's not bad figures, and you look at the worldwide performance as well, Stephen. $318.6 million off of a $130 million budget. I think Disney have probably been vindicated in their decision to move this film, or keep this film in December, and move Solo to May. They've been vindicated. The film has performed very well. It's still in the top 10, as you do saying. It's performing very well for number 4 spot after 5 weeks. I enjoyed it. I went to see it once. It's not the type of film I'd go back and watch again and again and again. I do like a good musical, but I tend to be one and done with them. It was the same with The Greatest Showman, La La Land. It's not a genre I would go back and watch again and again and consume in the theatre. Certainly I may get it on digital download when it comes to, obviously, home release. But I enjoyed it. I thought Emily Blunt was outstanding. It was a great visual moment. It had great musical moments. Obviously it's a musical. And it just had that feel, that classic feel, even the opening shots of London, just had that magical essence to it. So, all in all, I enjoyed it. Glad to see it's doing well, because it deserves it. And Disney have added more coffers to their already grotesquely engulfed bank balance.
I think it's a fitting sequel, John. I think they couldn't do anything better with it. No. I think it had the same feel to it to an extent. It's always hard when you're getting a well-known character replaced with another actor.
They could have got Julie Andrews in and done the de-aging process though.
Yeah, or they could have just made her an old Mary Poppins.
Yeah, she still looks alright. She looks alright. Yeah, not as good as she did back in the day, but she looks okay.
We'll move on.
It's just the nature of aging, Stephen. Certainly.
Yeah, we'll
comes to us all.
Yeah, we'll move on, John, to number 5 this week. It's The Favourite. It's 3rd week now. It's grossed another 1.3 million over the weekend, 11 million overall. Still not seen this film. Big Olivia Colman fan here saying he's still not seen it. And it's 3rd week. I really need to get out more than that, but this is a film, again, this is what I'm talking about, with Mary Queen of Scots. I still want to see The Favourite before I see Mary Queen of Scots, so it's really just
and Vice is out now, I believe, Stephen.
So
got a lot of films to go and watch.
It's good that we've got these, our monthly passes, because there's so much out just now.
And it'd cost you an absolute fortune if you didn't have them.
So
look, I've seen the film, Stephen. I enjoyed it. If you'd watched last week's episode of Box Office Chat, where I think I was on acid or something, I think somebody had maybe slipped LSD into my tea before I came on my coffee, because I was talking
Dr.
about
Robert.
things. Yeah, Dr. Robert, John Lennon and George Harrison. Bit of old rope. I digress. If you want to watch last week's episode and hear me bumbling away about this film, you would have thought you hadn't seen the film, or I hadn't seen the film. I'm talking about myself in 3rd person. Clearly the effects of the acid are still ongoing. But yeah, I have seen the film, Stephen. I was talking about Emma Stone's character getting into prostitution and things like that. Didn't happen. I don't know what I was talking about, Stephen.
No. Is this a sequel you've thought about in your head?
Yeah. Her character was down in her luck. Her father, I think she had to be sold to some German guy, an aristocratic figure or just some figure. Right. She'd lost her way. Her family was basically down in the dumps. They'd lost their aristocracy. And she was then trying to worm her way into this dynamic between Rachel Weisz's Lady Sarah and obviously Olivia Colman's Queen Anne. She comes into this palatial setting and for a job essentially. She comes in, she worms her way in, and it becomes this interesting trio of performances and characters between obviously Lady Sarah, Abigail and Queen Anne, and it's just a crazy, dark, comedy-filled film, Stephen, full of satirical references and wit. Nicholas Hoult, one of the first things he says in the film, I also says to you, I'll not repeat it, but he swears, and it's hilarious. Yeah. He is absolutely brilliant as the leader of the opposition. He's a kind of a sleazy, sleek-it, whiny figure, just trying to play the puppet master, but these three female figures are very much switched on. They are very much in charge, and the males are bouncing around with ridiculous looking wigs on and painted up. I said tarted up, I don't think that's quite the PC word to say, Stephen, but they're full of makeup, and it's almost like a flip of the roles we see today, where women are expected to put makeup on and obviously make themselves look appealing to the male side of the sex. And this, it's the opposite. Yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was very well shot. I thought it was an incredible story. It weaved very well, and the characters were outstanding and interesting, and a whole host of brilliant performances as well, Stephen. I'm glad to see it's doing quite well. I mean, I don't actually recall what it's doing, Stephen. £1.3 million after 3 weeks in the box office. £10.9 million for a historical drama of this nature is very, very good indeed. I don't know what its worldwide performance is. I may give it a quick look while you come in. I don't know if you've got any more to add.
Not for a film I've not seen, John.
$52.7 million. There you go, Stephen. That was quite enough.
Don't throw me under the bus like that. Coming in at number 6 this week is Aquaman, and it's 6th week. It's grossed another 700,000. It's a bit of a drop. 21.4 million overall. I think we've spoke about this film to death now.
We have.
I'm just waiting for the digital download to come out. I think that'll probably be maybe just before the summer. I think it'll be out. I've got all the DC ones on digital and Blu-ray, just for my collection. This is certainly up there. It's probably my third best DC film after the Man of Steel and Wonder Woman. Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, then Aquaman in that order.
I'd agree with that.
Financially, this has been the biggest success for DC and Warner Brothers, and probably rightly so. And I think they need that as well. I think they need a bit of positive getting into what they're going to be producing, over the next few years. After Wonder Woman, that's kind of steered the ship for the studio. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. I know we've got the Joker film this year, which is a bit unrelated to this world, but I'm looking forward to it. The Batman as well. We're getting more news about that coming out as well. Whether or not that will be
Matt Reeves,
it's going to be Matt Reeves directing, but whether or not Ben Affleck will be appearing as Bruce Wayne remains to be seen. But looking forward to that as well. It's all good news.
Yeah, Stephen, I'll wrap up discussion on this film by saying £21 million in the UK box office isn't absolutely extraordinary by any means. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nearly $1.1 billion worldwide is outstanding, though, as you did say, the most successful DCEU film to date. So hats off to everyone involved in that. Hats off to the likes of Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, and I'm glad it's a success because I want to see James Wan in the DCEU, if it's still a thing, going off to greater and greater success.
Number 7 this week is Bumblebee, and it's 4th week. It's grossed another 600,000 over the weekend. 11.6 million overall, John. I know you thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I did.
I think I'll get something out of it when I do get around to seeing it. I think it's one of those films, I'm going to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray before I get to see this. I don't think it's one, if I'm being honest, that I'm going to rush out to see. I wasn't a big fan of the Transformer movies, and I'm not trying to compare it to those previous movies.
No, it's better than that.
It's really just... it's one of those films that I love the look of the trailer. It's a great cast as well, but I think it's one of those ones I'm going to just wait till it comes out on digital before I see it. I think I'll get something out of it.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
You will. But from the soundtrack at least, because it's a great 80s soundtrack.
Yeah.
But Stephen, £11.6 million, 4 weeks in, did you say? That is very, very good. $438.5 million worldwide. Also sublime for a film of this nature, coming off the back of a ever-diminishing returns of a franchise that is the Transformers franchise.
Well, you've got
people have been put off by obviously the Michael
You've
Bay
got to take that into account because it does have a bad history, the franchise, and I think this is the right way of doing it. Taking the one character and focusing it heavily on that one character.
A more personal, character-driven story, not emphasising on the big CG battles so much. That's what you need. they get the right guy in, Travis Knight. He's a fantastic director, and I hope he continues to spearhead this new franchise, maybe splinter franchise of the Transformers franchise. I've used that word about 10 times there, Stephen. But I guess we shall move on because I've not got much more to
Number
add.
8, John, it's Bohemian Rhapsody in its 13th week.
Wow.
600,000 over the weekend, 51.5 million overall. We were just looking at a clip from the film just before we come on air. It was one I've not mentioned, and it's probably my favourite scene as well. Another One Bites the Dust. How that all came about. Brian May, Roger Taylor, is that his name? Didn't want to do disco music. Certainly wasn't disco.
Freddie was wanting drum machines brought in.
Yeah, I can see why Roger was a bit peeved with that, but
that would have made him completely redundant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great scene, Stephen, amongst a whole host of great scenes. A brilliant retelling of this band's success, their music, and of course of the personal side of Freddie himself.
One of the things I liked about the scene was that John Deacon's input into that, because I don't think the guy gets enough credit. Like most bassists, they don't. The
hardest thing in music, Stephen, popular music, is getting a distinctive riff which hasn't been done to the death by another band, and he nailed it there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's been copied. In fact, I know it's been copied time and again because you put a song on it's ripped it off completely.
Rapper's Delight,
yeah. $817.1 million worldwide, $52 million budget. Astounding. I combined 5 words there.
Yeah.
An astounding success for the band. Filmmakers, I'll say filmmakers because obviously it was Bryan Singer and Dexter Fletcher. So hats off to them. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to move on because we're running out of time here.
Yeah, number 9 this week is Ralph Breaks the Internet in its 8th week, grossing £500,000. Overall, 17.1 million. That's not bad. That's not bad for a a sequel to a very successful original animated film, John. I've not really got much more to say other than I liked it. Didn't think it was as good as Wreck-It Ralph. Still thought it was a good film. I think it's a good addition to the franchise. I think there'll be another one. I think they will be
they've left it open-ended,
it was a good film. It was an enjoyable film, and it's an enjoyable film for the kids as well.
And it has a whole host of interesting things going on underneath the superficial surface as well, Stephen, for the adults. So I enjoyed it as well. £17 million is very decent. $459.4 million off of a $175 million budget. I enjoyed it, Stephen. It was a great visual experience. It had some interesting things going on with the story, and great performances from Sarah Silverman and John C. Reilly as well. Can't add much more. I've spoke about it until the death, Stephen. It's been out for 8 weeks. So I'm going to move on, and I'm glad it's been successful.
Number 10 this week is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and it's in its 6th week. It's grossed another £500,000. Overall, 9.2 million. Very disappointing for an absolutely outstanding movie, John.
What's going on there?
It's the United Kingdom for you.
Yeah, they're idiots. Yeah. 6 weeks, £9.2 million. What? That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What was wrong with these people? $338.1 million worldwide off of a $90 million budget. Thankfully, the United States and the rest of the foreign territories, because it's a 50-50 split between the domestic United States territory and the rest of the foreign markets. Thankfully, they seen sense and pushed this film rightfully to a comfortable profit, Stephen, because it was a fantastic film from Lord and Miller. Also, they were involved in writing or producing it. Whole host of incredible performances in there. Amazing visual experience. I keep saying that phrase, Stephen, but it really does. It really does apply to this film more so than even Ralph Breaks the Internet, because it was just one of the best animated films I've seen in the last 10-15 years. It's just incredible. Great mix of story, visuals, character performances, or actoral performances, and I've just made a word up against even actor performances. And I'm glad it's done well. I'm glad it's got a profit worldwide, because it deserves it, and I hope we see more films of this ilk going forward. Are you done, Stephen?
I'm done.
I'm done as well, so that's going to bring the end of this week's box office chat, where we break down all the films within the top 10 of the United Kingdom's box office. We'd just like to thank you for watching this video, and if you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button, like, comment below, and we'll be back tomorrow with Movie Burner News.